Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson for today. In today's lesson, you will learn how to determine the sum and product of the roots of quadratic equation. You will also learn how to determine the quadratic equation given its roots. So once again, I am teacher Joanna C. Stiliore. We have now the sum and product of roots of quadratic equations. To determine the sum of the roots of quadratic equation, we add the two roots. And to determine the product of the roots of quadratic equations, we multiply the two roots. But the sum and product of the roots can be determined using the coefficients a, b, and c. For the sum of the roots, we have the formula negative b over a. For the product of the roots, we have the formula c over a. Let's have now the first example. Find the sum and the product of the roots of the equation x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So you can use any method to determine the roots of the given equation. So I've used the factoring method. And the factors are x plus 3 and x plus 1. Let's equate them to 0. So we have x plus 3 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. Then the roots are negative 3 and negative 1. To determine the sum of the roots, we add the two roots. So negative 3 plus negative 1, the answer is negative 4. For the product of the roots, we multiply the two roots. So negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So we have the sum of the roots and the product of the roots. But we have another method, or what we call the shortcut method. It is by the use of the formula. First, we identify the value of a, b, and c. So we have 1, 4, and 3 respectively. For the sum of the roots, we have the formula negative b over a. Then, to identify the sum of the roots, we substitute the value of b and a in this formula. So we have negative times 4 all over 1. And it gives you an answer of negative 4. For the product of the roots, we have c over a. And we substitute the value of c and a in the formula. So we have 3 over 1. It gives you positive 3. So we have the same answer. So that's how to determine the sum and product of the roots of quadratic equation. So there are also instances that you are going to determine the roots of the quadratic equation using the coefficients a, b, and c. Like this example. Use the value of a, b, and c in finding the roots of the quadratic equation x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0. First, let us identify the value of a, b, and c. So we have 1, negative 8, and positive 12 respectively. For the sum of the roots, we have negative b over a. So we are now going to use the formula in determining the sum and product of the roots. So negative b over a is equal to negative times b is negative 8 all over a is 1. So negative times negative is positive. So positive 8 over 1 is positive 8. For the product of the roots, we have c over a. c is 12 and a is 1. 12 over 1 is 12. So we have the sum and the product of the roots. Okay, so remember that sum of the roots is x plus 1, or x of 1 rather, plus x of 2 is equal to 8. Then the product of the roots is x of 1 times x of 2 equals 12. Think now of the two numbers that gives you a sum of 8 and a product of 12. Okay, so by inspection, the two numbers that gives a sum of 8 and a product of 12 are 6 and 2. Positive 6 and positive 2. Okay, so let's check if our answers are correct. Let x of 1 is equal to 6 and x of 2 is equal to 2. And find their sum and product. For the sum of the roots, we have x of 1 plus x of 2 is equal to 8. X of 1 is 6 and x of 2 is 2. The 6 plus 2 equals 8. They are equal. For the product of the roots, we have x of 1 times x of 2 equals 12. The 6 times 2 equals 12. They are equal. Therefore, the roots of the quadratic equation x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals 0 are 6 and 2. Okay, so that's how to determine the roots of quadratic equation using the value of a, b, and c. How about if you are asked to determine the quadratic equation given its roots? Like this example. Determine the quadratic equation whose roots are 6 and 3. So we have two methods. So this is the first method. We know that the first root is 6 and the second root is 3. So we have x minus 6 equals 0 and x minus 3 equals 0. We know that these two are the factors of the quadratic equation that we are looking. So x minus 6 times x minus 3 is equal to 0. Then applying the FOIL method, we have x squared minus 3x minus 6x plus 18 is equal to 0. Then, combining like terms, we have x squared minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. This is the quadratic equation. Next method is by the use of the sum and product of the roots. So we have the roots 6 and 3. For the sum of the roots, we are going to add the two roots. So we have 6 plus 3 equals 9. Then for the product of the roots, 6 times 3 is 18. Then after determining the sum and product of the roots, we are going now to substitute them in this equation. X squared minus the sum of the roots times x plus the product of the roots equals 0. So we have x squared minus 9 times x plus 18 equals 0. Then the quadratic equation is x squared minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. So we have the same answer. So that's how to determine the quadratic equation given its roots. So that's end of my discussion for today. So class, remember that a tree's beauty lies in its branches, but its strength lies in its roots. Thank you very much for listening, and you're now ready to answer your module. You can do it, guys.